tonight. High school football under those Friday lights. Corona, Riverside, Redlands in the frame. You Kuiper, Murrieta, they all bring the game. From first whistle to the final score, every big play keeps you coming back for more. The stands are packed, the pride runs deep. Inland Empire never misses sleep. Wednesday night, 7:05, you know the whole town comes alive. Every drive, every tackle, every cheer, Pep got the hottest seat in here. The Inland Sports Show, the Inland Sports Show, number one, no doubt, let it show. The Inland Sports Show, the Inland Sports Show, Pep Fernandez runs the show. Riverside brings heat. Redlands grinding every fourth down beat. You Kuiper makes a stand. Murrieta stays tall. One region, one heartbeat. We love it all. He breaks it down plain. He calls it true. Every team gets a spotlight view. If you want the pulse of the inland scene, Pep's got the place where the story's seen. Wednesday night, 7:05. You know the whole town comes alive. Every drive, every tackle, every cheer. Pep got the hottest seat in here. Number one, no doubt, let it show. The Inland Sports Show, the Inland Sports Show. Pep Fernandez runs the show. Pep Fernandez runs the show. From the valley to the hills, every rival, every thrill. Hear the name and you already know. Pep Fernandez steals the show. Steals the show. Steals the show. Steals the show. Pep Fernandez runs the show. The Inland Sports Show. The Inland Sports Show. Number one, no doubt, let it show. The Inland Sports Show. The Inland Sports Show. Pep Fernandez runs the show.
And what is up, everybody? Welcome to the one and only Inland Sports Show. I'm your host, Pep Fernandez, here on this Wednesday evening. We appreciate you tuning in, trying to lay low this summer, but we are building towards the high school football season. I know helmets and pads will be coming out for a lot of teams in about a week and a half or so, depending if you play week 0 or week 1. I believe Beaumont even has a double, week 00 when they play at Hawaii. They got another game in Hawaii. So things are about to get real here in the IE for high school football. So we will talk some high school football in a moment. We're going to hear from Jayden Daniels in just a second, the former Cajon High School star. We're also going to head out to CBU and check in with their new head coach, Kyle Getter, once again. They got a summer camp going on. In fact, they've had multiple summer camps, but we're going to talk to Coach Getter, see how the team is looking so far. They just released their upcoming schedule, and we'll hear from Coach about their schedule and moving to the Big West Conference. Remember, it's going to be a brave new world for CBU. New head coach Dom Daniels is now with the New Orleans Pelicans, from the WAC to the Big West. So a lot of changes at CBU. And we'll also put a bow on the World Cup, our final World Cup recap that you could hear on KCAL 96.7 FM and COLA 99.9 FM. All right, with all that said, let's get right into it, and we're going to start with the Jayden Daniels Community Day out at Cassulis Arena at Cal State San Bernardino. My guy Josh Ali and Alondra Ali out there covering the event for the Inland Sports Show. We got an exclusive interview with Jayden Daniels. We're going to hear from Jayden in just a moment. But first, let's take you out to CSUSB. Check out some of the sights and sounds from his second annual Community Day, which if you're asking, what is Community Day? Well, it's when Jayden comes back home. Remember, he went to Cajon High School, which is literally just right down the street from Cal State. And he gave away a lot of like backpacks and back to school supplies. I think there might have even been some iPads in there as well. So check out some of the sights and sounds from Community Day with our guy, quarterback Jayden Daniels of the Washington Commanders.
Inland Sports.
Back in the town, he knows, same streets, same smiles. San Bernardino calling, he came back for the little ones. Second annual day, hands full, heart right. He brought more than a name, he brought the whole pride. Jayden Daniels, Jayden Daniels, back to San Bernardino. Jayden Daniels, Jayden Daniels, Jayden Daniels, filling every backpack. Jayden Daniels, Jayden Daniels, Jayden Daniels, Cajon made the engine go. Jayden Daniels, Jayden Daniels, Jayden Daniels, now he runs the show. At Cajon on the Friday nights, he learned how to lead the drive. Now the Commanders line up and he takes the snap alive. Shoes, notebook, pencil packs, little hands reaching high. Same hometown, new headline, but he never said goodbye. Second annual day, showed up with the love from the field to the people. He's the one they're proud of. Jayden Daniels, Jayden Daniels, back to San Bernardino. Jayden Daniels, Jayden Daniels, Jayden Daniels.
Inland Sports.
Man, that looked like an awesome event. I wish I could have been out there. Something came up, but again, Josh Ali and Alondra Ali went out there to cover it for the show. And I remember my, back to school days were, number 2 pencils and folders. I think I did see some iPads out there, man. So a huge turnout for Jayden Daniels, doing so much to give back to his hometown of San Bernardino. In fact, they had to move it to Cassulis Arena at Cal State because it was so big this year around. And I saw his mom and dad right there helping him along the way. So that's so awesome to see. And again, Josh Ali and Alondra Ali caught up with Jayden at the event to talk about Community Day and also going into the NFL season. I mean, Jayden will be the first to admit last year did not go the way he had planned. I mean, he was dealing with several injuries. I think he only played in parts of 7 games, so he's back. He's 100%. He's feeling great, and he's probably, mentally feeling great coming off that Community Day, doing so much back home, and now he can go into training camp. I think Washington opens, I want to say this weekend or maybe like next Monday, the very latest. I mean, it's quickly approaching. A lot of NFL teams are going into training camp this week. So Jayden's going to have football on his mind certainly now as he goes into another season with the Commanders. So here is Alondra Ali with our guy quarterback Jayden Daniels talking about 1, Community Day, and 2, also the upcoming season with Washington.
Inland Sports.
So why was it important for you to host this backpack giveaway and give back to the community?
It's super important. It's something I wanted to do since I was a kid, something I talked to my parents about, and it was kind of on my mind since a kid, and I was blessed enough to go professional and give back to the community to help raise me.
Awesome. And how are you feeling heading into this new season?
I'm feeling really good, excited. New season, new opportunities. So from there, man, I'm just ready to get out there, go to training camp, and see what we can do on Sundays.
Okay, and how has your mental approach to football changed through this injury?
You got to go through some adverse times. It's tough. You don't never want to deal with stuff like that, but everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, and what excites you most about this Commanders team heading into the new season?
Just the guys in the locker room. We got a great group of guys. We got veterans, we got young guys, we got rookies. So just a great group of guys in the locker room, and it's what excites me the most.
Okay, thank you. And then what's one thing fans don't know about you and that they'd be surprised to learn?
I don't know. I think, the Netflix thing that just came out kind of told a little bit of my secrets. But I guess you can say I'm super competitive in everything I do.
Awesome. And then one last question. What's your favorite thing to do on your day off?
Favorite thing to do on my day off? Chill. I don't really have a day off. I'm still watching film, but play some video games, stuff like that. Just always connect with my friends from back home.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Inland Sports.
All right, great job, Alondra, and a big thanks at quarterback Jayden Daniels, man, always making time for the Inland Sports Show and IEMG and everything over the years, man. Really awesome to see what it's all turned into, his NFL career and how much he has done to give back, following in the footsteps of other guys, man, like Alexander Madison and Kenny Clark, of course, who've always come back in the offseason and done so much for the IE. All right, now let's talk some high school football a little bit. So this week on the Riverside Sports Update, we take a look at the schedule for the King High Wolves 2026. There is head coach Jason McMains, and the schedule looks like this. They're going to open up against Ramona, a little bit of a rivalry game there, and then maybe their toughest game on the schedule in week number 1 against San Jacinto, the Jack. Then they got JW North at Poly. That's a rivalry game for sure. And then they'll wrap up with Citrus Valley in non-league play. And then it's to the Big West. They got Corona, Temecula Valley, Roosevelt. Remember, Roosevelt is now in the Big West lower because defending league champion Murrieta Mesa moved up and Roosevelt came down. So we will have a new champion in the Big West lower this season because Murrieta Mesa is no longer in the league. So they got Roosevelt at Great Oak at Santiago in the final week of the season, week number 10. So we will have a new champion in the Big West. There's a good chance it could be King, but I feel like probably most of these teams could be in the hunt for that league championship. I think we're going to see some super competitive games in the Big West lower. And then they're non-league, man. It's great. Playing some really good teams there. I love they're playing some Riverside rivalry games. Keep those rivalry games going. And then also they're going to be tested, man. The Jack, they're always going to have some really good teams under head coach Eric Galliano. And then Citrus Valley. In fact, I'm planning to interview head coach Kurt Bruick very soon. And the Blackhawks are poised to have a bounce-back season. So that game against CV is a great way to kind of usher in league play for King High, even though there's going to be a bye sandwiched in between Citrus Valley and Corona. So that is the King High 2026 schedule. We'll talk more high school football this week on the Riverside Sports Update. So make sure you can check that out on Riverside TV. Now, as we get closer to the high school football season, we're reaching out to local businesses or organizations that might want to help us share these awesome, positive sports stories here in the IE. A lot of football. We do mix in some other sports as well. During the fall, we do have a lot of football, and it's a great time. If you're out there, you want to help us support local sports, then the time would be now. If you want to be in for football season, you can simply send us an email, inlandsportshow@gmail.com. Just say, hey, Pep, it's so-and-so from this business or organization. We love what you do. We love local sports. We want to promote the positivity in our community. How can we help? And that's all you got to do. Or send us a DM on social media, and we'll get you plugged in, and you can help us share all the cool things happening right now in the IE. We do a lot at the high school level, of course. We do some with the college. But we're just looking to share great stories out there here on the Inland Sports Show. Again, the email is inlandsportshow@gmail.com. Now, we'll continue to do, our, play of the week and, Kin Sporting Goods must-see game and all those sorts of things. But specifically for football, we've done this before. We're thinking about bringing it back. It's our weekly Inland Sports All-Star. So each week on the show, we're going to pick like 4 or 5 guys who really stood out from the previous week and talk about their big win, talk about the stats they put up for their team. So we're thinking about doing that. So if you're a local business or organization and you want to specifically partner on that, the Inland Sports All-Stars, just let us know. Same thing, inlandsportshow@gmail.com. Just send us an email, or you can find us on social media. More so on Instagram and X. Still do Facebook a little bit, but we'll find you if you send us a message.
Inland Sports.
And now join us here on the Inland Sports Show, a very familiar name, but in a new place now. Ralph Grajeda, the new head baseball coach at Citrus Valley, the Blackhawks. So, Coach, congrats on another gig here in the Citrus Belt League. What was it about CV that you were like, man, I got to be there. I want to coach the Blackhawks?
Yeah, familiarity, to be honest with you. Obviously, coaching in that league for some time, but it's also knowing the area. Coach Austin did such a tremendous job here, especially in that last year in 2024 when they beat us to win the Citrus Belt League title. But as far as the school, I mean, it's something that I've had my eye on for quite some time. Incidentally, I applied for the job years ago when I was at the University of Laverne, and then ended up at UKIPA. So it's kind of a 6 degrees, if you will, of different things. But saw that this had opened up. I had been interviewing during the summer, and quite frankly, I declined the position to come to CV, and I'm excited about it. I know it's different. But I'm excited about it for sure.
And Coach, the talent in this area, the CBL area specifically, You won a D2 championship in, 2018, right? With UKIPA. Mm-hmm. And then what was it? I think it was that weird spring season right after COVID. CV and Cajon played in the finals. I think it was Division 5 with CV winning.
CBL teams get after each other, yeah.
Yeah, there's so much talent here. Do you feel like, going into CV, like you said, John Austin did such a good job that, it's not a rebuild. It's like, hey, how do we go and win a CIF championship from here?
I think what we just do is kind of just build off what John did. He did a great job there. The area itself is growing. If you've seen all the growth around the school itself, it's definitely growing. I'm excited to work with the families and the kids that are there and implement a program and something I feel that will work there as well. I'm excited about it. I like the blueprint that we had over at UKIPA, and all I'm going to do is change the names off it and go to work for CV and those families.
All right, well, it begs the question. Obviously you're excited to play everybody, but you must be excited to play UKIPA, right? Going back and facing your former team.
I knew I was going to ask that question. I have a lot of love and respect for UKIPA. Obviously, that's where I cut my teeth on and being a high school coach. And there's a lot of kids that I know that are still in that program that I coached as well. So I have a lot of respect for them. I know that when the time comes to play each other, we're both going to get after it and respect the game. And I wouldn't expect anything less. So that's my perspective. Maybe I'm a little bit older now, but I just, we're just going to coach it up the best we can and whoever we play.
Now, Coach, you have an extensive college background, but just going from like when you were the head coach at UKIPA to now taking over at CV, do you feel like you've changed at all as a head baseball coach at the high school level? Like, did you learn things at UKIPA that you're like, okay, I'm going to do things a little bit different, or maybe more of the same at CV?
The one thing I learned about it, it's obviously different. You're dealing with, the college game is obviously different than the high school game. It's a lot quicker, and you're dealing with men, and you may be deep at 2 or 3 positions. It's just different from the recruiting process. High school, you're dealing with a neighborhood kid for the most part, unless you're parochial school, in my humble opinion. But you're dealing with a neighborhood kid, and you're developing them, and you're, you can be, in my opinion, going through this a second time, you can be as organized as a college coach, but then how you deal with kids is a little bit different. And I think the whole idea is to, try to put them in positions to win and love the game. And then obviously if they get an opportunity and create a body work and help them get where they want to go. I think I spoke with you, last fall, and I know my why. My why is to help young people to get to where they want to go. And so we as teachers and coaches, we do that with a platform of baseball. So that's, I've always known that. My high school coach afforded that to me, and so I'm just passing that along, and I just happen to do it as a baseball coach.
Okay, so speaking of your why, like all people have to do is look at your track record, specifically at UKIPA, and you had guys getting drafted, by major league teams. You had guys going a ton of guys going Division I, guys playing for Team USA. I mean, all those sorts of things. Of course, you play to win the game, but like you said, your why is to help these guys get to that next level. Maybe they're just trying to play JC ball. Maybe they're trying to go D1. Yeah. I mean, you're just trying to help these guys, right? Follow what they want to get done.
That's really all it is. I think, and it's weird. So in the interview process, a couple, 2-3 times that I interviewed, that came up quite a bit. I think the biggest thing is, I've been really lucky. I've had some tremendous mentors. And so learning the game, I've had the opportunity to be in a front row, listening to Hall of Fame coaches or coaches that have done it at a really high level. So for me, all I'm doing is I'm implementing that wherever I've gone. And so I've been blessed that way, whether right, wrong, or indifferent. That's kind of how I learned it. And so I'm not reinventing the wheel. I'm just taking something that I learned that worked and that worked at a high level. And we were able to implement that at UKIPA. And that was a byproduct, their hard work, but we also, we structured it that way. We had some expectations and some standards that we stuck to, and those kids did a great job. Those families did a great job. And, I was very, very happy with the end product that we had in the 7 years that we were there. And to be honest with you, I don't really plan on changing too much structurally and the mechanics of how we go about it, because at the end of the day, it's kind of like, I've been coaching for a while, so I've seen kind of this movie a little bit for a while. You kind of see the trajectory of student athletes and where they want to go, or let's say if they want to be a Division I athlete or play JUCO ball or NAIA ball or just enjoy the high school game itself. There's different ways you go about that, but I think I can provide a foundation that actually speaks to all those things. And so I want to be able to continue to do things at a high level. It's a standard I have, but at the same time, I want to help these young men get to where they want to go. And I feel I have a skill set that I can help them do that, help develop as young men, be leaders in their community and those types of things. And so I think we can do that. I feel I've been doing that in the game of baseball for a while. And again, that has to do because I had really good mentors. Yeah.
Coach, I can't believe it's been like almost 10 years since that CIF title at UKIPA. When you look back on that season, what do you think was like maybe the secret ingredient? What was that special thing that team had that you're like, okay, going forward now here at CV, what's the hallmark of a championship team? Is the culture? Is it, great pitching? Like, what do you think is the most important thing when you build a championship team?
I'm a big proponent of, I learned this from some great mentors, but pitching and defense wins and situational hitting. And so we really pounded that my first couple of years at UKIPA. The other thing was we had complete buy-in. I mean, it took a while. We were a new coaching staff taking over for a great coach, obviously, and Coach Stout. But it took a while to get us some trust and develop that. And we had some come to Jesus moments, and we had some team meetings where they had to sort some stuff out. But once they got on board, that 18 team was they were just tough to put away. I mean, I was thinking about all 5 of those games when we got to, when we won. Each one of those games was just a nail biter. I mean, I can think about the game that we had with Crescenta Valley, I mean, we were down to our last out, our last strike, and we had a kid hit one down the right. Trent Luther hit one down the right field line, and I think it was a double and scored 2 kids, and we had 2 outs, 1 out, and that kept us going. And then the game with Ayala, I didn't really read a lot of social media too much, and that was a game we were supposed to walk away from, and we upset Ayala. Just a great program. And even our first game, I remember this. Even our first game with we were at Corona Del Mar. One of our players, Bradley Heacock, I remember him. We were walking in, and somebody said, "Where's Ukaipa?" And he's like, "We're about to show you where Ukaipa is." And we weren't even supposed to walk out of that game with a W at all. So it was looking back on it, it was something special. And then when we played Beckman, I believe they won 19 games in a row. I had no idea until afterwards, and people were telling me about it. So I think the moral of the story is you just never know, and you just try to do the best you can, and just put your head down and just work as hard as you can. So that's what I plan on doing in Citrus Valley.
Well, Coach, congratulations on the gig. Thanks for always keeping me in the loop as well. I know CB is going to be in good hands out there with you. So hopefully you can enjoy the rest of your summer, because I know fall ball will be here before you know it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I got a lot of stuff to do before we get going. So I'm excited about it. Thanks for having me on, and I'll see you down the line. Thanks again. Thank you.
You got it. That is Ralph Grajeda, the new head coach at Citrus Valley, the Blackhawks baseball team, here on the Inland Sports Show.
Inland Sports.
All right, we're going to take our first break of the night. When we come back, we're going to talk some CBU basketball. We're going to check in with the new head coach, Kyle Getter, once again, because CBU just released their upcoming schedule as they move into the Big West Conference. They've got some big-time non-conference games. Again, Oregon State, Utah, Purdue, they're all on the schedule. But in the Big West, now they're going to play a bunch of new teams. I mean, UC Riverside's not a new opponent, but they're going to play them twice now, home and home with the Highlanders. So that'll be a lot of fun. So we'll talk Big West schedule and how the team is looking right now with Coach Getter when we come back here on the Inland Sports Show right after this.
The Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Kin Sporting Goods in Norco, #1 in the Inland Empire for team uniforms, sports equipment, and Letterman's jackets. Paulson Orthodontics in Redlands with Dr. Marcus Paulson. Personalized treatment you deserve from an orthodontist that you can trust. And Chick-fil-A in Ukaipa, right off the 10 freeway at Ukaipa Boulevard. Eat more chicken. The Inland Sports Show is proud to partner with Dr. Marcus Paulson and Paulson Orthodontics in Redlands. Dr. Paulson and his team work with children, teens, and adults using orthodontic products like traditional braces and Invisalign to make a difference in the appearance, comfort, and function of each patient's teeth. Paulson Orthodontics welcomes new patients, so schedule a visit today. Paulson Orthodontics. We make braces fun.
All right, welcome back to the big show, the Inland Sports Show here on Wednesday night. Now we're talking some California Baptist University men's basketball. They just released their schedule for the upcoming season. Again, some big-time non-conference games. Now they make the move to the Big West, leaving the WAC, going to the Big West with some natural rivals here in Southern California, including the obvious UC Riverside. They'll play the Highlanders twice, a home and home with UCR. And how the team's looking. He's got his guys on campus, and they've been running a lot of camps for the youth out there right now. So it was a great time to get caught up with Coach Getter and talk about, what's going on with CBU. What is the latest on the Lancers? So we're going to hear from one of the campers and one of his players in just a moment. But first, the head coach for the CBU men's basketball team, Kyle Getter, here on the Inland Sports Show.
Inland Sports.
All right, we're inside the event center here with head coach Kyle Getter from CBU. And Coach, it's empty right now here inside the Fowler Event Center, but man, when this place is packed, it's special, it's one of a kind. And I think also the turnout that you've had at the summer camps with all these kids is a reflection of how this community has embraced this CBU basketball team. Everybody loves the Lancers, and I think the amount of kids that you're getting here and excited about CBU is, again, a reflection of how this community has embraced this program. First year head coach, first summer camps. What have you thought of the summer camp so far?
It's been awesome. I just been amazed at all the support the community gives CBU. CBU as is deeply rooted in the Riverside community, and everywhere I've gone, throughout Riverside, people have, they've actually asked about, hey, are you having the summer camp this summer? And excited to tell them yes. And we just finished our second week of camp and had a great turnout, and excited to see a lot of those campers to return to the games this winter.
You go from coaching these young men, 18, 19, 20 plus years old, and you're probably implementing these sophisticated, game plans and, schemes. And then you have to, you get to, teach basics again, right? This is how you dribble a basketball. This is how you hold a basketball and shoot it. Is it kind of fun, kind of refreshing to kind of go back and see the excitement on a young kid's face and how they're just learning the sport from the beginning?
Oh, absolutely. Well, first off, I think, the fundamentals never really truly go away. I think, that's a main emphasis of our camp is teaching the fundamentals of basketball. And then the main goal is, we want these young people to leave camp more confident in their skills than when they came. And, obviously there's a fun component. I think when you're having fun and you're also learning skills and you can see that improvement, that creates an excitement. And, as a young man, I remember those days, way back, a long time ago, Pep. But, that's kind of how I fell in love with the game, was going to camps. And, I still remember my coaches' names at camps. And, believe it or not, that's an awesome opportunity we have to serve our community, is to give back and invest in these young people and, maybe help establish some fundamentals and a love for the game that maybe they didn't have.
I love that. Whether they're 20 years old or 8 years old, it comes back to the fundamentals and the basics. What are some of the things, I asked your guy Terry about this, some of the things that, of course, you're going to teach him to shoot, pass, dribble, whatever, but off the court, the teamwork, perseverance, some of those things that I guess you'd call them soft skills, right? But like some of the things that you can be a better teammate and keep that competitive nature when you go back to, let's say, your middle school team or your high school team.
Well, that's a great question. And, our basketball program here at CBU is built on 5 biblical pillars. And, it's a great opportunity for us to share those pillars and, where they come from. And, each day at camp this week, we've had a pillar of the day. And, first day was humility. And Second day was passion. Third day was unity. And then the fourth day, because we have a 4-day camp, was the combination of servanthood and thankfulness. And, it's been kind of cool to hear the parents say, hey, my son or daughter was, asking more about humility when they got home, and they were talking about unity and being a good teammate and, servanthood. The way to greatness is through service. And, to see that those campers try to demonstrate those on the court, and hopefully they'll take those and go with them and demonstrate those off the court as well.
All right, Coach, so here at these camps, I know a lot of your players are here helping with the camp. So how is the team looking right now as you progress through the summer and get a little bit closer to, we'll talk about the schedule in a second, to I think November 3rd will be opening night here at the Fowler Event Center. Yeah, it's been great. We were allowed 8 weeks of access with our players over the summer. We're currently in week 6. So, I'm new. I'm new to them. We do have 5 returners, but we have 10 new guys. So, but they have a new head coach, so they're still learning me, and I'm learning them. But I think it's been great. I think, we've been able to see everyone improve over the summer, not only in their individual skills, but I mentioned that unity piece, and I think that's going to be a key factor for us moving forward this season. And, just a time to spend time together on and off the court and during these 8 weeks of the summer. And I'm very excited about our team. I think, first and foremost, I love being around them. And, they've been working hard. And, there's a quote by Henry Clay that says, there'll be a time when winter will ask what you did all summer, and I keep reminding our team of that. So they've worked hard, and really excited about this coming season. I know you can't hang a championship banner in the month of July, but it really is an important time of the year, isn't it? Oh, absolutely. For us to be able to lay a solid foundation of how we want to play both offensively and defensively, and then when school starts, we kind of already have that, and so we can kind of accelerate more to some more intricate details of how our system will be. All right, Coach, often my stories start with, well, there I was minding my own business, and I was just going on the CBULancers.com website looking for camp information because I knew I was going to interview you, and I was like, the schedule is up. There I was minding my own business, and I noticed the schedule. So November 3rd, you guys will open up against, I think it's North Florida. North Florida. So, yes, sir. Are you excited about that opening night? All this hard work, I know you still have several weeks and months, to build up to that opening night, but to just get the guys out there and see what you got. I can't wait. We're sitting in here in an empty gym currently, an empty arena right now, and I got to pinch myself every time I walk in this place because, I've seen the videos, I've seen the pictures of what it's like on a game day. And, I'm excited for that for our guys, more importantly. They've been working in here with no one in here. And I've been trying to play music and things like that. And I'm like, look, it's going to get a lot louder. It's not the same. But, yeah, look, the support, I mentioned it before, the support is just immense here. There's a reason that, we get the crowds we do, and we're looking forward to trying to bring in, and continue to bring an exciting brand of basketball that people will get behind. And, we have a challenging schedule, but I think one that we're up for. And another thing I wanted to point out, too, is if I'm reading the schedule correctly, is, typically, back in the WAC, conference play would begin around the beginning of the new year. Very end of December or early January. If I saw the schedule correct, I believe you open up Big West Conference play against UC San Diego like the first week of December. Was that correct? It is correct. We have 2 league games, 2 conference games in the Big West that first weekend in December. So, yeah, we'll learn quickly, where we stand up against the rest of the Big West. And, we certainly have a challenging non-conference schedule that will, hopefully prepare us for the rigors of the Big West. And I'm excited about that challenge for us being in a new conference, especially with the locale of all the institutions. You kind of get some more of a local rivalries, if you will. So, but that'll be here quickly, very quickly, about a month into the regular season. How much of that schedule was already built in before you got here, and how many games did you have to go out and say, hey, we need to find another game or two to kind of round out the schedule? Yeah, so we're allowed to play 32 regular season games. The Big West provides 22 of those conference games. So when I got the job, 3 of the games were already scheduled. So, I had to fill 7 games. So, there's certainly some challenges with that. Coach Croy and his staff did an unbelievable job, winning 25 games, going to the NCAA tournament. So, you kind of get that balance of, do people want to play you or not, with the new coach, and there's all these different factors that go into it, whether it's home or away. But
I was intentional about, I wanted to, play in a regionally, first and foremost, play some regional games in the non-conference. We're in an exempt tournament, multi-team exempt tournament in Palm Springs, which will be great, not too far from here. So hopefully, we'll have some crazies travel with us to support us. But, it's really scheduling is an art. You got to try to find that. You want to test your team, but you also want to have some success. And hopefully we did a good job of mixing that.
Yeah, and a short build-up, too. I mean, before that first conference game. You usually have the month of November and December before you see your first conference opponent. So that window's a little bit shorter, right, to get ready for a UCSD.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Since for us having a new team, we're going to have to, our growth will have to, be accelerated rather quickly, because that Big West game will be coming very soon.
All right, finally, Coach, how would you kind of describe the brand of basketball that we might see? I mean, is it going to be up-tempo? Do you focus on the defensive end, get to the free throw line? Like, what should we kind of expect this upcoming season?
That is an outstanding question. And, I hope that, my words will be able to paint a picture of truly how we are going to play. But, I think first and foremost is probably just being really hard to play against. And I know it's like, well, yeah, no kidding, but I want us to have a blue-collar mentality. And, we got a hard-working group, but, we're going to hang our hat on the defensive end. We're going to be hard to score against. And, in saying that, I want to play fast offensively, and I'm hoping that, if we're good defensively, we're not having to take the ball out of the net, so we can run in transition. And, I want to shoot a bunch of threes. And I want our guys to play with a lot of freedom offensively. That's how I remember, enjoying playing that way. And I think, there's a saying, first comes discipline, then comes freedom. So we'll have discipline on the defensive end, and then hopefully we'll be able to enjoy some freedom on the offensive end.
Yeah, let them, kind of have a little fun, right, on the offense.
Absolutely, absolutely.
All right, that is head coach Kyle Getter here at CBU. Coach, always appreciate the time, and I'm sure we'll catch up again shortly before the start of the season.
Yeah, sounds good, Pep. Thanks so much. Enjoyed visiting with you.
You got it.
Inland Sports.
All right, appreciate that sit-down interview with head coach Kyle Getter. We also talked with one of the campers out there at CBU to find out what are they learning from the Lancers, and also one of CBU's players for the upcoming season, a transfer who was a big-time player at the Division II level, Terry Connor Jr., expected to make a big impact for the CBU team this season. Let's take you back out to the Fowler Event Center.
Inland Sports.
Yeah, they're really nice. And then Coach Getter has a daughter my age, and we've been getting to know each other, and it's really fun. I love hanging out with my friends and doing it with them. It's really fun to just meet new people and hang out, and then we get to play basketball too, which is really fun. Just that fundamentals are the most important part of the game. You can always keep practicing the fundamentals, and it'll just make you better every time.
I feel like it went great. It just brings back memories just like when I used to go to camp back in the day. Just get to bond with the kids and teach them the fundamentals and just the game of basketball and how far basketball can take you. Off the court, I feel like bonding is the most important thing. If you don't have a great bond, you just won't have a great team, and bonding is just everything. So you should get to know the person beside you and get to know their background. And then y'all gel together on the court, and makes it a lot of fun to play with each other.
Inland Sports.
Awesome, good stuff there, and a big thanks to my friends over at Westbound Communications helping facilitate getting those interviews as we get ready for the CBU basketball season. Again, opening night, November 3rd for the men's team, taking on North Florida out at the Fowler Event Center. All right, we're going to take a quick break here on the Inland Sports Show. When we come back, we will talk some World Cup as we check in with my guy Patrick in the morning on KCAL 96.7 FM. We'll be back here on the Inland Sports Show right after this.
The Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Ken Sporting Goods in Norco, #1 in the Inland Empire for team uniforms, sports equipment, and Letterman's jackets. Paulson Orthodontics in Redlands with Dr. Marcus Paulson. Personalized treatment you deserve from an orthodontist that you can trust. And Chick-fil-A in Yucaipa, right off the 10 freeway at Yucaipa Boulevard. Eat more chicken.
Yeah, on Earth. I mean, we don't realize how big a global star he is. It's wild.
Dude, okay. And then, another thing with Leo Messi and being a global star. So we love the Super Bowl. I love football. It's my favorite sport. I think it's probably your favorite as well. So when we watch the Super Bowl here in America, it gets about, 120, maybe 130 million if it's like popping off, right? If it's a great matchup. That's a lot. 120 million people watching the Super Bowl. That's why, Super Bowl commercials are so expensive. Dude, I went back and looked. The 2022 World Cup, when Leo Messi and Argentina defeated France in penalty kicks to win the World Cup final, it had 1.5 billion people watching it. So if that, just to put that in perspective, man, we love Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes and all these guys that have won Super Bowls, and they're big time stars here in the U.S. But 1.5 billion people watch Leo Messi win the World Cup 4 years ago.
I mean, the number is so large you can't relate to it. It's like the national debt. It's so huge. The common person is like, what?
Yeah, it is ridiculous. I had to go to multiple sources. I'm like, 1.5 billion? That's like one out of 7 people, in the world were watching the World Cup when Leo Messi won in 2022. And I know, again, streaming services and stuff makes it a lot more available, but it makes it more available to watch the Super Bowl and the NBA Finals and, Daytona, whatever you watch. But 1.5 billion, man, that is a lot of people. And all those people saw Messi, they know Messi, they're fans of Messi. That's how huge this guy is. He might be the most famous person in the world, man. The Dodgers are actually playing on the road at the Yankees for a big 3-game series in Gotham. The Dodgers right now, Patrick, they have the most wins in all of baseball with 61. In the American League, even though the American League won the All-Star game, I got to be honest, it's a little watered down this season. The team with the most wins is Tampa Bay, but the Yankees have the second most wins right now in the American League with 54. So if you're trying to gauge where the Dodgers are at, if you're looking for some sort of a World Series preview, it could be it this weekend in the Bronx, with the Dodgers and the Yankees. But I just feel like the Dodgers are the perennial favorite to get back to the World Series, but in the American League, I don't know, man. I don't trust Tampa Bay. I don't trust the Yankees. We might have a weird team fight their way through and get to the World Series. Maybe Cleveland, maybe Texas. I don't know. I just feel like someone like Toronto last year. I just feel like someone's going to find a way to the World Series that we're not really talking about yet.
Someone is going to catch fire, and you're right. We have no idea who it is. All the teams that are struggling are especially concentrated in the American League. Everyone's having a tough time. 500 is the norm in the American League. And here goes the Dodgers doing their thing, and we've talked about this before. This is where normally, if the Dodgers are going to do their thing, they'll kind of hit a lull here and then just start gaining altitude right in time for the playoffs and do what they do. If they do that again, I'll just be astonished.
I'm with you, man. If the Dodgers don't get to the World Series, I would be surprised. I feel like they're going to get back there again, but their opponent, you're right. The American League, everyone's flirting with 500.
Inland Sports.
All right, hanging out with my boy Patrick in the morning on KCAL 96.7 FM every Monday and Thursday morning. Now, also special for the World Cup, I was providing some World Cup recaps on KCAL and Cola 99.9 FM every single weekday throughout the World Cup. So this past Monday was my final World Cup recap because we had the championship final on Sunday with Argentina taking on Spain at MetLife Stadium, home of the New York Football Giants and the Jets in New Jersey. And it was, of course, Spain winning 1-0 in extra time. A fantastic final match as Argentina could not defend their World Cup title, and Spain won their second overall championship, having won also in 2010. Big shout out to Sac Health for sponsoring the World Cup recap on KCAL and Cola FM. Really appreciate it. Had a lot of fun doing it every single weekday, letting people know what was going on at the World Cup. Of course, a lot on the U.S. while the U.S. was still in the tournament, and then we focused on a lot of the star players at the World Cup, like Kylian Mbappe and Leo Messi, and Ronaldo, Erling Haaland. Everyone loves Haaland now. So anyways, here's the final World Cup recap from this past Monday that you heard from Sac Health on KCAL and Cola FM. Let's kick it. It's your World Cup recap. I'm Pep Fernandez from the Inland Sports Show. We have a new World Cup champion. In the final on Sunday in New Jersey, Spain needed a goal in extra time from the boot of Ferran Torres to upend Argentina 1-0 for the title. Argentina played all of extra time a man down because of a red card at the end of regulation. The Spanish defense conquered opponents, surrendering just 1 goal in 8 matches, which is a new World Cup record. Pretty remarkable considering they shut out France's Kylian Mbappe and the GOAT Leo Messi in back-to-back matches. This is the second World Cup championship for España, with the other title coming back in 2010. I'm Pep Fernandez with your World Cup recap. All right, and appreciate you guys who reached out to me personally, said, hey, I heard you on the radio on KCAL or Cola doing the World Cup recap, man. So I appreciate you guys listening, and it was a lot of fun. I'm a big soccer guy, and the World Cup was a lot of fun to cover this time around here in the United States. All right, that's going to do it for this edition of the Inland Sports Show. A big thanks to CBU head coach Kyle Getter and the folks out there at the CBU camp. Really appreciate it. Jayden Daniels, of course, back home for his community day and then going right into training camp with the Washington Commanders. And if you're a local business or organization and you'd like to help us promote the awesome positive sports stories here in the IE, send us an email, inlandssportsshow@gmail.com, or just find us on social media and you can send a message there as well. We'd love to hear from you. All right, I'm Pep Fernandez. God bless you guys. Stay safe out there. We'll see you next time on your favorite show, the Inland Sports Show. Good night.